The man likely to be Germany's next chancellor has announced a major financial package to boost the country's ailing economy and substantially increase defence spending. Friedrich Merz of the centre-right CDU said 500 billion euros would be borrowed to fix infrastructure and that strict government debt rules could be eased to increase the military budget. Merz's Conservative bloc won February's elections and are trying to form a government with the centre-left Social Democrats, who came third. Merz said the measures were urgent in the wake of recent decisions made in the United States.
I want to say this very clearly in view of the threats to our freedom and peace on our continent. The same must now apply to our defence.
Whatever it takes.
Now let's bring in DW's political correspondent Matthew Moore. Matthew, Germany's defence minister has called this plan historic. Is it?
It absolutely is, Gerhard. It's really worth underlining just how massive this announcement is. Friedrich Merz is someone who is a fiscal hawk. He's on the centre-right. And he's really had to perform a 180 in the last week or so since the election results came in, because he mentioned the mood music coming out of Washington. We saw the scenes in the Oval Office on Friday, and that, I think, was a chastening moment for European leaders, especially here in Berlin. And the message really is that Europe needs to spend a lot more on defence, and he's acknowledged that. And this decision will have a huge impact on German defence industry, on military spending, and as a result of that, also on European security. And basically what we saw was Friedrich Merz sending a signal that Germany, under his leadership, now he is poised to be the next chancellor, is prepared to do a whole lot more on this issue.
Now, there have long been calls from allies for Germany to spend more on defence. Is this planned spending increase likely to satisfy those calls?
Time will tell. I mean, in the plans, what's interesting is that we had some numbers involved, right? You had 500 billion on infrastructure. That's to deal with Germany's crumbling roads and hospitals and kindergartens. But the big issue and the other big part of this announcement was the spending on defence. And what we didn't have was a concrete number, but what we did have was saying that we can unshackle that. We can take anything over 1% of GDP that goes towards defence, anything over that 1% we can borrow, which is a massive unshackling of the defence budget from Germany's tight fiscal rules. And it essentially means that the sky is the limit, as he said, as Friedrich Merz said, whatever it takes. We've heard some people involved in the plans talking about the fact that it could be that the German defence budget goes from what it currently is at the moment, which is around 50 billion per year, to 100 billion per year.
Now, Ukraine is urgently looking to Europe for help after the US suspended its military aid. EU leaders are gearing up for a summit. How quickly can the new German spending plans get into place?
Well, this is quite separate from that really immediate need to send support to Ukraine. This is about essentially dealing with decades of underinvestment in the German army. Having said that, Friedrich Merz did also say he wants to unlock 3 billion euros in immediate aid for Ukraine that's been held up in Berlin in recent weeks because of the election. And so he's had talks with Olaf Scholz, the Chancellor, today about unlocking that aid for Ukraine.
Now, what does this agreement mean for the coalition talks?
Well, remember, Friedrich Merz is the man poised to be the next leader. That's because he won the elections. This announcement last night was really the result of talks with the Social Democrats, the centre-left Social Democrats. They're essentially exploratory talks to see whether we can agree on the big challenges facing Germany. The fact that they have come to an agreement so quickly after an election suggests that they are in a good position to basically make progress on those coalition talks. Now, there are a couple of big issues that they will need to deal with, one of them including migration, but the fact that they could reach an agreement so quickly on the issue of defence and infrastructure spending bodes well for Germany and therefore Europe as a whole.
Our political correspondent Matthew Moore there. Thank you very much, Matthew.